Alrighty folks, this is Alan recording another comprehensive Magic the Gathering Arena Draft video. So Strixhaven has finally arrived. It arrived like 2 weeks ago. I did a couple of paper drafts and also some arena drafts, so hopefully I get out the dumpster mythic and snag up some wins, so we'll give it a shot. So far I've been pretty impressed by the Temur colors. I think blue is probably the best color in the set, and Quandrix and Prismari are the biggest overperformers. So I'm probably going to lean towards the Temur colors as much as possible, but I also don't mind drafting the weaker colleges like Lorehold and Witterbloom if they were more open, since I can potentially get the more busted cards if they tend to wheel, and the power level can spike. So I think I'll still stay open, even though, again, the Temur colors I think are the best. So pack one, pick one. What's our first college that we're going to end up drafting? That's a pretty nice spell. Putrefy is also great, and Bookworm. Wow, these uncommons are all fantastic and definitely very first pickable. At common, Rise of Exodus is probably the best common. Battle of Mathematician is also pretty good. Same with Pop Quiz. Would still take Rise out of all of them. So out of this entire pack, which one do we prefer? I think we want to stick with a single colored card, given that the two color cards are a lot less flexible. So it's either tempted by Auric or Bookworm. Bookworm is much more splashable, but you don't usually want to splash an expensive card like this if you are in a color that doesn't ramp. Usually the only colors that are looking to ramp in a set is green, so I guess if you take a card like Bookworm, you're mostly going to just be playing green in the first place. So, between Tempted and Bookworm, I think Tempted is just better. There's a lot of powerful tokens you can steal in the set, and the tokens tend to be quite large, so we'll take a mono blue card here. That's gonna commit me to blue, but I think if I take Bookworm, sure, I can maybe splash this in Prismari, but I'm mostly gonna end up base green anyway, so let's just take Tempted here and hope for the best. And after first picking Tempted, big fan of the Kelpie Guide, just a great card in it's going to be as best in Quandrix, but still good in Prismari, and it's just a nice way to function as a way to ramp. Makes it easier for us to cast Tempted by Auric, and also gives us a removal spell in the late game. Crackle of Power is pretty hard to get going. Mostly you're just going to cast this as a 5 mana removal spell that kills something, but if you can get up to 8 mana with this, it's quite good, but still requires a lot of work and setup. Going to be at its best in Prismari with cards like Kelpie Guide to enable it, but it's just really expensive and difficult. Other good commons, Burying Books is great, a huge overperformer in this set. Probably would take it if Kelpie Guide wasn't in this pack to stay open and just really flexible. There's lots of tokens you can bounce in the set too. So let's just take Kelpie Guide. Another Biomathematician gets passed, so let's just stay open, stick with blue, the best color in the set. Now, Test of Talents is actually not an unplayable card. Can be pretty decent, especially if your opponent has multiple copies of the same instances or sorceries. There's also Ogre Battleseer, which is fine and decent in Prismari, but usually you see them pretty late. Overall, this pack isn't exciting. It's probably the worst pack so far. The better cards in this pack include Plum the Forbidden, Guiding Voice, All-in Shield Mage, Introduction as a fine lesson we can look up in a removal spell. I could take Test of Talents, but it's still like a negate, just very situational and not amazing. So maybe I just take Introduction here, and just have a decent lesson in the sideboard I can learn, potentially, and goes in pretty much any deck. So there's nothing at an extreme power level that I'm going to take here, just to maybe decide if I want to pivot into another direction. Like, maybe Ogre's Battleseer would make the most sense, but overall, we can always pick up one later, and I don't think I need 2 copies, so just take an Introduction. Pretty unexciting pack. This pack has Flunk as the best card. There's also Rise of Exodus as a great card, but here I could just lean towards Quandrix by taking the Golden Ratio. I think with a card like Tempted by Auric and Kelpie Guide, I definitely want to stick with blue. And Vortex Runner is okay, but nothing exceptional that I want to take up here. Yeah, I think it's after taking Kelpie Guide and Tempted, I don't think I want to switch colors here. I could potentially splash Flunk, but it's still pretty ambitious since it doesn't really share a color in green. I guess we can go blue-green, splashing black for Flunk. That's reasonable, but Golden Ratio is still a pretty good card and keeps us on color, so yeah, I think I'll just take Golden Ratio here and hopefully end up in Quandrix. If not, we can always end up in Prismari with Prismari Pledge Mage, which is a very good 2-drop. Reckless Amplimancer is going to be at its best in Quandrix, but still pretty medium if you can't pump this twice. Lash is probably the best card in this pack. Yeah, these cards are just not good. Let's just take Prismari Pledge Mage in case we end up in Prismari. And just a very good 2-drop, either defensively or offensively. This pack sucks. Could just take Start from Scratch as a mediocre lesson. Can still deal with 1 toughness or Problem Mag artifacts. There's an Alan Shield Mage is probably the best card in this pack, but overall, I don't think we're switching into white, so just take a random lesson here. And, well, I do like Storm Kiln Artist in the Prismari decks. Just provides us a good amount of ways to ramp. And this is just a decent 4-drop overall. Illuminate History could also be a reasonable lesson. Serpentine Curve would probably keep us the most flexible. But either way, I feel like Serpentine Curve is going to be at its best in the Prismari deck and not in Quandrix. So, yeah, I might as well just take Stormkiln Artist here. Maybe we just draft Prismari, because it does seem kind of open. Between Burying Books and Pop Quiz, pretty interesting choice. I like both of these cards, actually. There's also Needlethorn Drake, but I think we take a blue card to stay flexible. And could just be Burying Books, since interactions usually a lot more important than card advantage. Because right now we currently don't have any good interaction outside of Tempted, and we can always wheel a Pop Quiz later. Don't want too many copies. Bury's just a fine interaction spell, good removal. And I'll put it in the 3-drop department since it's kind of a 3-drop. Take a Biomathematician in case we end up in Quandrix. Teach by Example is medium, so I think we just want to again stick with blue for now and see where we end up. And hopefully next pack we have a clear idea of which direction to be in. And we can always splash another card here, color here. Take a Reckless Amplimancer as a fine 2-drop in case we somehow end up in Quandrix. But again, let's just stay as open as possible. Don't think any of these cards matter. Just take an uncommon for the Vault. Square Up is pretty bad. But definitely seen some late Quandrix cards. Biomathematician somehow made it. Stormkiln Artist, Prismari Pledge Mage. What's a Rise of Exodus doing this pack? Wow, I guess everyone wants to fight over the Temur colors. So maybe I should have just went into Silver Quill. But overall, I think with 2 powerful blue cards, there's no way in hell we're actually going to switch. So we'll just shaft the Temur. We'll just give the person to our left all the Silver Quill cards so we can hopefully get rewarded in the next pack. And Harmonize is fantastic. Wow, Dramatic Finale is a total bomb. There's also Rutha. Rutha is quite broken as well. Yeah, both of these cards are quite powerful. So I kind of have to make a decision here. Do I end up taking Rutha or do I just take up Harmonize? Harmonize is going to be a little bit difficult to cast with a card like Tempted. So far, it seems like we're better off maybe in Prismari, although we do have more Quandrix cards, potentially. So it's really difficult. I think we could just be better off in Quandrix, given that Kelpie guy is going to be at its best in Quandrix. Biomathematician is better to curve out with, and we just didn't see too many good red cards. We saw Golden Ratio 2 get passed, and Biomathematician and Reckless Amplimancer pretty late, so I think I just take Harmonize here. Otherwise, yeah, Dramatic Finale would have been an insane bomb, but hopefully we end up in Quandrix and not get punished here. Okay, there's a Pigment Storm, pretty good. Strategic Planning is medium, same with Arcane Subtraction. So I guess we're back in Prismari again. Just take the best card. This pack overall is pretty atrocious. There's also Biblioplex, which can be okay in Quandrix and Prismari, but I might as well just take the Pigment Storm, so I guess we missed out on Arutha, but hey, sometimes you learn. Okay, Cody. This could actually be a Cody deck, although don't have too many summonings so far. This card can be pretty awesome. We do have a decent amount of instances in Sorcery. I mean, I guess if I end up in Prismari, I could consider the Cody here. Otherwise, there's another Burying Books, which we have a copy already. Negate could be okay. Okay, I guess we'll try Cody if it works. But we do need to pick up a ton of summonings for this to be impressive. The cards here, we have Environmental Sciences, Needlethorn Drake, and Scourge Colony, which are all pretty decent cards. It really depends on what type of deck we're trying to be. It looks like we're more of a defensive sort of ramp deck. Environmental Sciences would be nice as a lesson to learn. Yeah, I mean, I could just take environmental sciences here to stay the most flexible. Just a good lesson we can learn, and we currently don't have any lessons at all outside of start from scratch. And we could even end up splashing. But for now, it looks like we're mostly base blue-green, so maybe I just take a better blue-green card here. And in this case, maybe just take a Needlethorn Drake as a fine defensive card on turn 2. So maybe we just take the Drake here and just commit to Quandrix for the hell of it. Now, Frost Trickster, wow, even Rutha. Yeah, maybe I should have stayed open, because darn, these cards are really strong. Could actually just take another Biomathematician, in fact. The question is, what is the deck looking to do? I don't think we're going to be a Cody deck. I think we're just going to be this defensive ramp deck that we're trying to be. In this case, I mean, Biomathematician could be better with more fractal tokens, but currently don't have any ways to make fractals, so maybe just take a Frost Trickster and just shaft a Prismari deck away, sadly enough. Don't think we need our Pledge Mage. Maybe we just take a Whirlwind of Denial, which is not very good in our deck. So maybe just take a Pledge Mage. I don't know. I think we're in Quandrix. Let's just take Whirlwind. I think it's just too late now. And now we can take an Arcane Subtraction as a decent way to learn. There's also the Campus, but I don't think we're splashing red. Wormhole Serpent is a pretty huge overperformer from what I've been reading as well. But there's also Eureka Moment, which is fantastic. Currently, right now, we could use some more win conditions in the deck. Like, I definitely think we need some creatures to help us close out the game. We have a lot of card advantage with Harmonize already and Golden Ratio. So could use some more top-end creatures to curve out and attack with. So we probably don't need to focus on basic Conjuration or Eureka Moment, which are also pretty good cards, but I think we need some ways to close. And Wormhole Serpent is nice. Gonna take a Needlethorn Drake, okay? So basically survive, ramp to the late game, and try to win. I think that's a game plan. Get some card advantage going. Okay, I think that's the game plan. Could play Bibliotech Plex. Don't know if I'll play it though, because it just taps for colorless, and that can be kind of detrimental. Yeah, I think we're just in Quandrix ramp here. It feels like that's where we're supposed to be, and even though another late Burying Books, I'm happy to play 2 copies of these. But Prismari was also looking kind of nuts with the Druthas being passed. Biomathematician, this is great, okay. So we're doing it. It seems like we're better off in Quandrix. And we do have some nice instances to go along with Whirlwind of Denial. It's not like an amazing card, but it could actually be serviceable in this type of deck. Don't know if we'll play second copy of Reckless Amplimancer, but I would love a Scourge Colony maybe. Okay, and that's a nice land, although there's our Mythic Uncommon, Bookworm. Wouldn't mind a Mage Duel as good removal. We do have double Burying Books already, Frost Trickster, that can tap something down, Tempted. But the Mythic Uncommon of this set is Bookworm, and definitely, I mean, between Bookworm and Igneous Inspiration, they're both actually very good. I would probably take Igneous Inspiration, pack one, pick one, but Bookworm is definitely close, so just take up our top end bomb, plays pretty well. Wormhole Serpent. Expand Anatomy is excellent, but there's also Mentor's Guidance, which is also pretty good in this deck, since we do have Druids and Wizards. And, you know, it's just a nice 3-mana draw too. Expand Anatomy is also fine, but we don't have too many ways to learn, so probably not going to take it here. Just going to take our Mentor's Guidance as a nice card draw spell. And that's decent. Just draw a bunch of cards, get to the late game, and just try to cheese the opponent out with some of our evasive threats. Wormhole Serpent activations, Bookworm, and Dragonscar Elite is fantastic, better than Quandrix Pledge Mage. Nice creature that can just grow over time. And yeah, I think it's better than Mentor's Guidance, Pop Quiz, Pledge Mage. Just going to take the powerful 2-drop here. Do need to up our instants and sorceries count a little bit higher, of course. The weaker cards include Whirlwind of Denial, Curate, Ether Helix and Quandrix Cultivator are quite excellent too. So which one do we want? Ether Helix can get back a permanent. Although there's no amazing permanents to get back other than maybe Bookworm or Wormhole Serpent. So probably leaning towards Quandrix Cultivator as a nice 4-drop that can help us ramp. There's also the Elemental Summoning as a fine lesson, but I think we just want to ramp in this deck. And Cultivator is quite good. Amplimaster is also one of our weaker cards. Okay. Scourge Colony looks fantastic. I'm a big fan of this card. Nice 2-drop. Upgrade over a Reckless Amplimaster. Can become a 4/4 in the late game. Just a solid 2-drop overall. And we'll take a Fractal Summoning and Pledge Mage. I think it's the Fractal Summoning, since we don't have that many instances or sorceries with our Quandrix Pledge Mage. This gives me a good lesson I can learn into. Outside of Introduction of Annihilation, yeah, we just don't have too many lessons. We only have one lesson so far in the sideboard, and it's not a very good one. Whereas Fractal Summoning is going to be fantastic with the Arcane Subtraction, so going to take it here. And Divide by Zero is fantastic, nice way to learn. Decent 2-for-1, and you can also use this as kind of like a temporary counter spell as well, since you can return target spell to its owner's hand. So, big fan of Divide by Zero. This card is great. So now 2 ways to learn. So now it makes it much more easier to find our Fractal Summoning or Introduction to Annihilation. Don't think this is going to be a Cody deck, since we just don't have too many creature tokens we can generate. Like, Cody would be fantastic with cards like, if we have multiple Fractal Summonings. Ooh, we can even take Environmental Sciences here. There's nothing amazing in this pack. Can help us fix and splash if we need to. Pretty late card as well. Definitely a good one. I do like Pop Quiz. Since we do have a couple lessons now, it does look a lot better. There's also Pledge Mage, which can give us another decent top-end creature, which could also be fine. But I think the Pop Quiz is quite good here, since we just picked up another Environmental Sciences, which can give us a thing we can learn. So let's just take a Pop Quiz here. And yeah, we do have some evasion with the Wormhole Serpent, Frost Trickster, maybe the Scourge Colony and Dragon's Guard Elite and Amplimaster that can help us close out the game. So we don't necessarily need to need another large creature here, but it would be nice if we have a Pledge Mage at the top end. Take another Pop Quiz. Okay, I guess I'll play 2 copies of them. Plays pretty wet. Now I guess the Whirlwind of the Nile gets better. Same with the Curates, but I can also see one of them getting cut. Buffalo is pretty bad. If we give neg 2 Nego, it would have probably been a consideration, but I don't think it's that great. So, okay, so the deck seems a lot better now. Seems a little bit more consistent. We stuck with a college. No splashy shenanigans. So let's see. I guess this is kind of our curve. Take the buried books in the sideboard. These I'm hoping we can just cast on 4. Whirlwind is kind of mediocre. Could be cuttable. So we have a lot of card advantage in this deck. Lots of advantage overall. So the weaker cards are like Curate and Whirlwind of the Nile. The question is, which one do we cut? In terms of our instances, we have 8 instances, so the Whirlwind of the Nile could be pretty reasonable. The Curate can be a nice way to fix and smooth out our draw steps, which I don't know if we even need, to be honest. Curate is fine. Can help us dig a little bit deeper, I guess. How much card advantage do we have? A Harmonize, Golden Rational, Mentor's Guidance. I guess Pop Quiz can draw some cards, so we don't necessarily need a Curate since we all have all this card advantage. So I could use a decent counter spell in the deck, and that way, in the late game that can help us counter something annoying. Whereas Curate is going to be pretty okay-ish, and then we have a Fractal Summoning we can look up, Environmental Sciences, and maybe an Introduction to Annihilation as a good removal spell. So this seems fine, slightly favoring blue, so 9/8 seems okay, since we do need a decent amount of green, especially with Harmonize, some early 2-drops that we don't mind casting. Triple blue might be a little bit difficult with Tempted, but I still think I'm going to go 9/8 here. So yeah, let's give this deck a spin, see how it goes. I could also just throw in a second Reckless Amplimancer actually, if I think we don't have too many ways to close out the game. Because right now, what's our win conditions? Bookworm, Wormhole Serpent. Let's see, maybe Tempted by Orc steals a large token. Bomb Mathematician is not going to be super amazing. It's just going to be a nice way to generate some blockers. Frost Trickster can maybe fly over. Needlethorn Drake can maybe ping a bit. Scourge Colony can maybe attack a bit. Reckless Amplimancer can maybe grow kind of large. Dragon's Guard Elite. So I could see the argument of cutting the Whirlwind now just to add a second Amplimancer to ensure that we have enough creatures to help close out the game. And I'm not opposed to that actually. So maybe we just cut the Whirlwind of Denial and go something like this. Because Wormhole Serpent plus Reckless Amplimancer can be a pretty decent combo. If we get enough lands, we can just keep chipping in for 4. Even though that is a lot of mana, not to lie. But it seems quite reasonable. Yeah, let's try this. See how it goes. And let's just keep our name simple, Quandrix. And what's our poster child in this deck? I think Bookworm. Right, let's just keep this deck simple, keep it solid, and then, yeah, just hopefully get to the late game, ramp a bunch, get to the late game, play our big bombs, and find a way to just kill the opponent. So let's give this a shot. Definitely not the best Quandrix deck, but really solid. So we'll see if it overperforms or not. It's mostly going to depend on how well I play in a deck like this, since it's not like overpowered or anything. Opening hand, well, 2-drop into 3-drop seems fine. Okay, I think this is solid. Might actually leave with a Kelpie Guide to give me some extra mana in case I need to double spell, but we'll see. That's a card I don't see too often, the Cemetery Sage. But if he's going to try to enable it constantly, then I might as well, I think, play a Needlethorn Drake to trade, which I'm not opposed to, since a flyer can be pretty annoying for us to deal with. Okay, here, pretty interesting decision. I don't necessarily need to play Kelpie Guide, but Kelpie Guide can allow me to 3-drop into 2-drop next turn, which seems solid, so I think I run it out, and hopefully it doesn't die. And we'll keep this back in case he starts being aggressive with the Cemetery Sage. Yeah, I think I like 3-drop into 2-drop instead of Harmonize here. And then I guess now, since I'm planning to... drew another Needlethorn Drake, I can start being aggressive. So let's see. I think I want to use the Kelpie Guy first in case there's some sort of instant shenanigans. So let's do this. And then let's do this. And then let's move to combat, and I can attack for 1 here. And I'll play another Needlethorn Drake in case he starts being aggressive. And I can do the same thing next turn, then use Harmonize eventually to refuel. The question is, do I even care about staying defensive here? I mean, if I'm going to be making a bunch of 2/2s and attacking with them, I might as well just be hyper-aggressive here. So, maybe I just swing with all here. I think I'm fine with that. I'm fine taking 2 back, especially since he is far behind. And this really isn't a good blocker unless he has instant speed that can make this 2 power, so it's pretty much almost a dead card if he doesn't have any instant speed shenanigans to keep up, so... And I don't think there's any board wipes in blue or green, so I'm happy just playing everything out. In face of a sweeper, this would be pretty bad. But he's pretty far behind since he basically essentially did 4 turns of doing nothing while I'm able to curve out with all these tokens and creatures, so opponent might be thinking what to mage duel here. Okay, main phase Snow Day. I don't really agree with that play, but sure. I don't think you're supposed to main phase Snow Day, especially if you need this as a way to block. So I mean, if you want to take 1,000,000 damage, be my guest. So yeah, let's just move the combat here. Attack with all, and then I'm fine just casting a main phase Harmonize. You can block the 1/1, but that's fine. There's no reason not to attack with it. And then we'll just draw 1,000,000 cards. And then say go. Yeah. Don't play Cemetery Sage, guys. It's not by any means unplayable. It can be decent in an aggressive Prismari deck, but definitely don't want to play it in a Quandrix deck. It's just not very good. It's only decent on offense, but if you're behind it, then it's a very bad card. Alright, to Needlethorn Drake, Biomathematician. Seems okay. Ooh, red, that's scary. Prismari, it's the scariest color I hate facing against, so, and it's Prismari, okay. So, the Apprentice can definitely get out of hand if he casts a bunch of expensive spells, so I wouldn't mind actually just blocking this if he attacks. Let's see. Could start getting aggressive, but 1 damage really isn't that big of a deal, so I think I'll play a Biomathematician out and say go. Next turn we can Mentor's Guidance and draw 2. Scry 2, draw 2, so that's pretty awesome. So splashing white for lore hold. Maelstrom Muse is really strong. So I think I could just pass the turn and keep up my instances in case something goes haywire, because I'm probably going to plan to trade a Needlethorn Drake for the powerful 2/4, and if he has like a spell in response, I can always bounce it back with Divide by 0. So maybe this is the turn for the removal spell. I think I'm blocking the Maelstrom Muse, and we'll see what comes up here. So he gets a discount, and then let's see what he tries here. I'm hoping he taps out here. Bury for 2 mana. I mean, it's not that bad, but I can always just Divide by 0 it and block the 2/4, which I think I want to do. I can also bury the 2/4, which could also be reasonable. So lots of options here. I think I might just want to force a trade here, so let's just divide. And then I think I want the Fractal Summoning, since I'm kind of flooding here and I want to make a larger creature. And this block is pretty good, so that's fine. Pledge Mage, okay. And then we can always just play another Needlethorn Drake, and then Mentor's Guidance. But probably want a Mentor's Guidance first. Skur Colony is okay. Although it doesn't seem super fantastic, so probably can find better spells. Yeah, let's bomb the land for sure. Tempted is pretty awesome. Maybe you can steal the Apprentice and I can start using it to close out, so we'll say go. Wouldn't mind double blocking the 3/3. Right, all the expensive removal. So I might just want to steal the Prismari Pledge Mage since I can make it large anyways. But I guess he can just bounce it back, which can be kind of annoying. I'm fine with this trade. Don't mind just running out the Kelpie Guide then. He's probably playing to save the Bury for the 2/2. I could have also stolen this to maybe force the Bury on to his own Prismari Apprentice. I mean, I'm not against it, so I could just take 4 here. Do I want to bounce here? I mean, it's pretty mana efficient, so I guess I do. And this way I can maybe still force a counter spell of some sort. Sure. So we're basically stuck on a board stall here. And yeah, we'll just keep playing our lands and say go. I can always... Yeah, I don't really want to play this into the Burying Books, so I'm hoping I can get more playables and creatures. Frost Trickster, okay. Seems okay. Hopefully he doesn't double spell next turn. I guess he can always scry this to the bottom. And he does. Oh, he's on top. Just to remind me, of course. So is there any point in stealing this? Like, I'm not opposed to, honestly, but I think I want to get the Frost Trickster out first to apply a little bit of pressure. And then maybe he has something better I can steal next turn. So we'll say go. Like an Elemental Masterpiece. And I can always bounce one of them in the turn. Which is fine. I actually don't want to really bounce them Elemental Masterpiece because he can always get back, so maybe we just play Tempted here. And then attack for 2. And I can cast the Fractal Summoning for 5 and trigger the Prismari Apprentice, so yeah, I guess we just need to find a way across this Elemental, we should be fine. Sure, maybe just stolen this last turn, honestly. Wow, okay, I don't think I can win against this. Yeah, I don't think I can beat this, it's just too strong. I can always play Quandrix Cultivator, and then make it into a 5/5 still, which could actually force the Burying Books. So I think this is okay, we just take action, thin out the deck a bit, and then we'll cast this for 4. I mean, I guess if I cast it for 4, I mean, yeah, I guess I will still get the thing here. I think I stay back here. And then he has a Burying Books he can use. So I'm pretty much in bad shape here. I might be forced to chump. And if he gets a spell back, then I'm just going to concede. But Prismari is really strong. Just incredibly efficient and powerful. Yep, he gets his 2/2 back, and then I can trade and double block. And if he has an instant here, then I'm even more screwed. I can play the Amplimancer and pump it once. It's not looking good for me here, so... Yep, and Burying Books is really powerful, so keep draft all the Burying Books that you want, because yeah, it's just very strong. Might even be more preferable than a removal spell in the set. Given that single blue, and again, just blue is just overall, I think, the strongest color, so... So I'm kind of convinced that you should just force blue in this set now, the more I think about it. Kelpie Guide, I just need to draw one card. I mean, one land should be okay with Kelpie Guide, and hopefully I can draw into green, so I think I'll risk it here. And if I draw green earlier, that's even better, since I can potentially untap the green source and play Harmonize on turn 4, but this is a risk I'm willing to take. Turn 1 Star Pupil, okay. Definitely looking forward to drawing my green turn 2, if possible, game. Okay, just gonna curve out and kill me. Seems reasonable. And never lucky, so alright. Next turn kind of determines whether or not we win or lose, basically. Am I gonna get my lands, or am I just gonna get run over by Silver Quill? And yeah, we're gonna get run over, so let's just concede and stop the fucking game. You know, I just like how the fact that, it's you have a high chance of drawing a land and you still don't get it on turn 3. It's just the type of luck I get in these limited games sometimes, in Magic in general, so that's really awesome. I might just quit Magic, just fuck it. Like, there's better games out there like Diablo 4 that's coming. So, yeah, whatever. And what the fuck is this? Can I draw a green source? I mean, I'll keep it anyways because I have triple blue. But yeah, this is stupid. Might have to steal a 2-drop here. I mean, at least if I get green, the Biomathematician Fractal can block the 2-1. Alright, there's our green source, finally. And if he wants to put counters onto this, I can tap it down at least. I don't mind double blocking this too if I had the Fractal tokens. So this is going to become a 3-1, that's pretty annoying. I mean, it's a nice creature I can steal next turn. So I could also just Frost Trickster this and then trade for the 2-1. Or I can Frost Trickster the 2-1, force him to use it, and then steal it next turn. But maybe Biomathematician is better. It just gives me a way to block the 2-1. And then if he wants to put counters, I'll just steal this and hope for the best. I'm hoping he just puts the counters, hits me for 5, so I can steal it. Can you place counters on your 3-1, please? Okay, no fear. And I'm trading for the 2-1 here, it seems reasonable. And then maybe next turn by using the Frost Trickster, it will enable him to... I can also just Harmonize. But the Frost Trickster does provide me with tempo, so I don't get run over, and then I can maybe still force them to put counters onto something. Or at least trade the Frost Trickster with the 3-1, which I'm fine with. Yep. That's what I'm hoping for. He might actually give this lifelink. Okay, 5-3. I'll take 5 and then steal it next turn. Please enhance it even more. Thank you very much. Go all in, please. Yes, just do it. I can also chump block, so I don't take a lot. Taking 6 is a lot of damage, but... yeah, it's possible that I could just chump, but I like the fact that this stays back on defense against the 3-1. So we'll just take 7 here, and hopefully don't die. And then this can also gain a ton of life as well, so... yeah, just hoping he went all in so I can just... ooh, Rise of Extus. That's kind of cute, okay? Sure. And I'm fine trading the 3-1 for the 2-2. Since he's pretty much almost out of action, all I basically need to do is survive, draw a bunch of cards, and I'm good. And this trade here is totally reasonable. And yeah, I'll just draw a million cards. Can even bury the Inkling token if I want to. And he's basically out of steam, so this is why you draft blue guys in a set. Because it's absolutely broken and busted. And we'll take a Fractal token. Play land. I can also just use the Mentor's Guidance, but I think I'm fine attacking for 2, and then using the Burying Books on the 2-1, keeping up Divide by 0 as well. So probably just scrying for some answers here. And there's our Mythic Common Burying Books, just giving us all the removal, even as a bounce spell. And yeah, I think I'll make a Giant Fractal Summoning now, no reason not to do it. Yeah, X equals 5. Maybe I can be a little bit greedy here and Mentor's Guidance instead, since I can even make a larger Fractal Summoning token. Neilthorn Drake seems okay. Yeah, I could use a copy on defense, especially against an aggro deck. Move on to land, of course, and just keep drawing more lands. We do have a Eureka Moment left in the deck still, so... I could also keep up Divide by 0 with the Fractal Summoning, which could also be a reasonable card to, like, maybe delay a turn, but if I delay a turn, he's eventually just gonna cast it anyway, so... Ooh, Biomathematician number 2. This could just be the turn for the Fractal, I think. Yeah, 6/6 is pretty sweet. How much is this? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so I guess it's a 7/7. So yeah, I'd rather just make a 7/7 here. And then maybe force some sort of removal spell from him. I might actually keep lands in hand because he could have a Flunk in his hand. and therefore it wants me to have more cards. Silver Quill Pledge Mage, pretty medium. Pop Quiz, okay. More ways to learn. Start from scratch is actually pretty interesting. I don't really have a red splash going on, so maybe I just take an intro just to be safe. Yeah, let's just take intro just to be safe. And then I can still attack with these two, keep the Needlethorn Drake back on defense. I can also play Biomathematician, but again, it doesn't really counter the removal spell, but it can also be pretty reasonable keeping up Divide by Zero, so sure. I think we just do this, say go. If he's going to scry on his upkeep every turn, I don't think he can keep up with the value of this, so... So I guess I can Divide by Zero removal spell, intro the 3-1 and kill him next turn, so I pretty much have this game on lockdown. Sure. I think I'll Divide end of turn. Although it's not really lethal. I guess it is if I play Wormhole Serpent and give this evasion, so maybe we just do that. Because he could have an instant he's trying to keep up to enable lifelink. And I could just intro the Silver Quill and it should be game over, so. And we shouldn't play anything out here because he could have Flunk. Study Break, okay, just to buy some time, sure. Alright, so you're just gonna slow us down. Sure. Yeah, let's just thin out the deck, play Scourge Colony. Next turn we can Wormhole Serpent and attack for 4. Alright, seems fine. Probably leave with Scourge Colony or Needlethorn Drake. Doesn't really matter. I mean, it does. If he kills my Scourge Colony, this has a chance to be better in the late game, so maybe we don't need to be super aggressive, just play the Needlethorn Drake. Have a good blocker that can maybe trade for something. Like a Blood Age General, I don't mind trading for. Play land, say go, and end of turn we can Pop Quiz. Question is, do I trade? I think I do. Just so I don't get run over. And he doesn't even attack. Very interesting. Probably want to get a Fractal token here. Yeah, I'd probably want a Fractal. Although Environmental Sciences hitting me my land drops could be reasonable as well. So there's an argument for both. Maybe it is Environmental Sciences. So then I can double spell and at least guarantee a land drop with the Wormhole Serpent. Although I got one anyways, so yeah, pretty interesting decisions here. So, do I just play Bile or do I play Scourge Colony? Bile is fine. Bile can make me a 1/1 token, which I'm not sure if it even matters. Maybe I definitely just want to play out Biomathematician here, and then we can play out the Wormhole Serpent, take 2 from the Pledge Mage. And then eventually set up a turn where we can keep up Burying Books. Say go. Probably fine putting Mathematician in front of the Blood Age General. If this gets large, at least we have Burying Books to reset it eventually. We can also force a double block on the Lorehold Pledge Mage. If he has a trick, we can bury it to buy time. I think I like trade here with the Biomathematician. It seems to make the most sense, and take 2 from the Lorehold Pledge Mage. Because if I triple block this, there can definitely be problems, so this is fine. And the trade here is okay. Pilgrim, okay. And I'm hoping he doesn't have removal for the Wormhole Serpent. I can also steal this, but it seems a little bit too early. Just play the Wormhole Serpent and then attack for 1, I think. I don't think there's any haste creatures in red. White that I need to be aware of. The 1/1 can trade for the 2/1 pretty effectively as well. So just trying to hit his land drops. I can see now why he wants to keep the Blood Age General around, so he can give this power. Cultivator is great. Yeah, I guess we can cultivate, find our green source, and then I guess it's fine just playing out the Scourge Colony. Attack for 1. Could also attack with this, but then it's just a 2 for 1, which I don't care about, so. Okay, then that's definitely looks like a good target to steal now, since he's looking to enhance it. I can also chump block it. Although the elemental token's also quite good, but I can always just get rid of the Burying Books. So I can take 5 here, or I can chump. Chumping can actually be more reasonable, since 5 is a lot of damage, and I don't want to fall behind against a hyper-aggressive deck. Okay, so since Burying Books can answer the 4/4, I'm tempted to just use Tempted for Auric. I can also just draw a million cards this turn, which could also be reasonable. Draw 3 cards, I guess. And then if I hit a land, I can Tempted. Okay, I think that's pretty sweet. Yep, that's nice. And then we can play land, and then could play Dragon's Guard Elite first. Maybe I can get value by just playing the Dragon's Guard Elite first, and then playing our Sciences. And then getting out an extra blue source, potentially, for next turn. And then we can also attack for 1, or keep this one back. Don't really care about attacking for 1. I think we stay back. And if he enhances this even larger, I'm fine taking the hit, and I can steal it. Grow the Dragon's Guard Elite the following turn. Even use Burying Books. I can always tap this down. That's fine. I mean, I can also steal the 4/4 token, to be quite honest. There's lots of options here. Yeah, maybe Pledge Mage is just too scary. And let's see, I can also activate this and hit for 4. Does Frost Trickster do anything? Helps me develop my board, but that's pretty much it. I could just be inclined to attack for 4 here, which is pretty reasonable. Although he could have the Exile spells, so probably... I mean, I don't really need to Frost Trickster unless he has removal for this. And I don't really need to tap anything down, so maybe I'm fine just using this and putting it on the Cultivator and attacking. Because again, he could have that Exile spell, so just want to be aggressive here, I think. Okay. I guess I'll just bring out my Frost Trickster then. And I can tap down the 4/4 token. And then this can also trade for the 4/2. Alright, I guess we can pop quiz. And then we can get a fractal summoning. And I can also attack with the Dragon Scar Elite. I don't mind doing it now, since I do have the, whatchamacallit, the burying books. Funny thing is that the opponent actually has a pretty decent lore hold deck. Okay, that's a bomb. I definitely need to kill that card, or at least bounce it back. Yeah, I have to bounce this, I have to imagine. Yeah. This is why you draft blue, guys. This set's all about control and value. It's not really about one-for-ones and cheesing the opponent out unless you're Silver Quill. Bile seems good. Hopefully I have enough ramp to get the Bookworm, but just curving out into these double Bile Mathematicians is great, and hopefully we can hit some land drops along the way. This is going to be stuck in our hand for a while, but it should be okay. The funny thing is I might actually cast Golden Ratio on turn 3 instead of playing out the second Bile Mathematician, since, I mean, I can always play the Needlethorn Drake, I guess, since it can count as a 1-powered creature, so I'll be drawing 2 anyways. So we'll see. Dream Strix is good. Guess I'm fine trading off the Fractal token. Just want to be aggressive here. I'm fine with this exchange. Since I don't really have any other ways to grow my Fractal tokens, this is okay. If I can play land into Wormhole in Golden Ratio, that would also be awesome. Sure. This is a good card. Wow, it even splashes for red, so probably a crazy Temur deck. Don't mind trading for this either. And let's just get our 5 drop down so we can set up a good Golden Ratio turn next turn potentially. Trade is good. I think this card's hugely underrated. Just a decent blocker and can give. And since Quandrix is lacking ways to grant evasion outside of a Vortex Runner and maybe Frost Trickster, the Wormhole Serpent can be pretty strong. I'm hoping he doesn't kill anything here, so I just draw a million cards. So yeah, let's just do that. And if we get green, we can play the Needlethorn Drake. Could respond with a removal spell or a counter spell. Okay. Alright, that delayed us for a turn, so I might as well attack. Hopefully no Befuddler. Just a pop quiz, okay. So that was just a delay, so nothing too bad. We'll just play our land so we can eventually play Golden Ratio and then play maybe something else next turn. Serpentine Curve, okay, looks fine. And a fight spell, yeah, that sucks. Almost drew 3 cards there, but at least we get to draw 2, which is fine. Ooh, Tempted by Auric is quite great. I think I want to play my pop quiz to hit my land drop. Even though, again, I could get that instant speed, I do have a Bookworm. And then we can take the Fractal Summoning, play land, and then eventually steal his Fractal token. So let's just stay back, take 4, and then steal it. Harmonize is great. Field Trip. Wow, I mean, he could make a larger Fractal token. So if I get land, I might just be interested in playing the Bookworm, and that's it. Because if he makes a larger token, like Tempted is even better. So I might actually just be a little bit more greedy here and actually just play the Bookworm if I get a land, and there I have it. Land is good, let's just play our Bookworm. And then eventually just start smashing our Mythic Uncommon. Ooh, Bookworm again, okay. Alright, I don't mind trading Bookworms here. Yeah, I think I'm fine attacking. And then the trade is also okay. Trade is okay because I can always just put it third from my top to draw it easily. And then I think I'm more interested in actually just playing out my stuff here instead of anything else, because I want to make an even larger Fractal Summoning token. Please make a giant Fractal Summoning token so I can steal it. I mean, I could always play mines first, and then if he steals mine, then I can just steal it back, of course. Okay, Jotzi's a bomb. Should have, yeah, Jotzi's gonna be a huge problem. Okay. So that means he probably has an answer to the Fractal Summoning. I think I still cast it here, and then, because I don't want to play the Cultivator, 6, 7, 8, 9. So just do for 7, I guess. And then, do I attack for 1? Not really, I think I'll keep the Quandrix back. And then, I don't really want a Cultivator, because again, it'll shuffle my Bookworm, which I don't want to do. So probably plan on casting my Bookworm, having it survive, and then eventually get there. Eureka Moment, sure. Yeah, this Yahtzee is just going to be a problem. I guess he's just going to string together a million Eureka Moments. He could actually deck himself. Maybe that's the way I can win. Just have the opponent deck himself by drawing a million cards and then just stay back, and he's just going to curate. So he's eventually just going to deck himself, so all I need to do is really play defense maybe. And I can also just draw a bunch of cards with the Bookworm. I mean, he can always just get the Bookworm back, of course. I mean, if you want to draw a million, then go ahead. Is it a May ability? It's not really a May ability, so he can actually decline, funny enough. But his deck actually looks kind of fun as well, but it's a lot of value, but he's about to deck himself, so just need to survive, I guess. Just give it a couple more turns and I should be able to win this. And then not take any unnecessary risk. Hopefully he doesn't have a way to shuffle his library. Wow, Tanazir? Yeah, that's a bomb. I think I'm chumping this and stealing it. Does he have a fight spell? Wow. Even a fight spell? Okay, so I think I'm chumping here. I mean, I can also just put the Drake in front of it. He even has a Burying Books to bounce his own guy back. So, don't know about this. I mean, I actually don't mind just putting the 1/1 token in front of this. Although, the 1/1 token plays pretty well into the 4/4. Sure, I think we just steal the 8/8 here. And then he's probably gonna plan on bouncing it back next turn. Next turn I can play Bookworm and then maybe a Cultivator. So we'll just say go. Basically, just need him to draw all of his stuff, and then we win the game. So I'm not even sure if he can cast Bookworm in his deck. I mean, he can cast Bookworm to buy a turn. But I'm hoping he just runs out of resources here. Okay, sure. Campus Guide, sure. Sure. I mean, I'm fine blocking Tanazir. I'm hoping he doesn't kill my Squirt Colony, though. Yeah, I'm blocking Tanazir here. It's no reason not to. He probably has a removal spell or an answer, but I still think I do it. Otherwise, you know, I don't think I'm ever going to have a chance to block him. And yeah, the block is good, so the trade is great. So we just need to survive. And then we can always Bookworm next turn, draw a card, and then play Cultivator. Don't think there's any 1-mana spell here that gets me. Harmonize, okay. Just say go. And I'm fine drawing with Harmonize because the opponent's just going to deck faster than me, so... I can. The funny thing is, if he kills my Bookworm, I can just get it back with the Harmonize as well. Okay. Is this a May ability? I guess it's a May ability, so he doesn't have to. Yup. Yup. He's about to deck himself, so just needs to survive maybe one more turn. I should be fine. Squirt Colony, sure. No removal spells, please. Wow. I mean, I guess he's just gonna try to step up the 1-turn kill against me. So I do need to survive one more turn. And hope for the best. Take one. Alright, hope for the best. Yeah, I Harmonize first, I think. Mentors, guys, Kelpies, I think I need to play everything out. Don't think I can afford to draw a million cards because I just need to survive, essentially. Just need to play everything out and hopefully survive this huge attack from the opponent. And I should be fine. Definitely don't want to suicide my Bookworm as well. Okay, so one more turn. I mean, I guess if his Bookworm dies, then I win. So let's see, I just need to survive here. Chump here. Chump here. Chump here. Could just block here. I mean, probably don't even need to block the 7/7. Probably better off just blocking here and then I guess blocking here. Yup, and we win. Opponent had an insane deck, but he just drew too many cards, I think. Just didn't have enough removal to kill me quick enough. This doesn't look like a good hand. I mean, if I do have single blue, I mean, Kelpie Guy could be a thing. I'm also on the draw. You know what? Let's take the high road here. Go big or go home. And there's the Duress. I guess that takes away Arcane Subtraction. Of course, he gets a better card. Being Burying Books, but Arcane Gonna be nice to help me learn. Happy just playing out the cards he knows about. And I'm fine trading this away, just so I don't end up getting run over. Although I'm just going to take 3 here, okay, so this could be a game where I need to run out the Frost Trickster early. I could also just play out the Kelpie Guide, take a bunch, and go from there. Since I'll be able to double spell the following turn, so maybe run out the Kelpie Guide. Maybe I shouldn't have done that actually. I guess with the Kelpie Guy out, I can have I can keep up Arcane Subtraction for the following turn. But if he just kills all my stuff, then I'm just gonna get run over, and that's gonna be a problem. So yeah, I think that's gonna be a problem. So hopefully just survive maybe next turn. Inkling Summoning. Alright, I guess the Recluse is fine. I mean, Frost Trickster, I guess. And I think I'm fine locking down the Eager first year to trade for the Arrogant Poets, since the flying is going to be a bigger problem. And I can eventually just bury in books the Inkling Summoning. And the reason why I decided to tap this down is because I can also just gain power, which can become a problem. So just gotta survive, and then hopefully once we draw a million cards, we can just win the game from there on out. So we'll see go. Then if he attacks with a 2-1, I just bounce it. And hopefully the opponent just doesn't drop some sort of crazy bomb out of nowhere. And bury books overperforms again. And wow, we just need to stabilize. So we'll just stay back. No reason to do anything here. We can always pump our team or cast Arcane Subtraction. Tempted. Okay, we'll just say go. We can also just cast this to get our whatchamacallit, the environmental sciences, but then I won't have enough to keep up for the Reckless Amplimancer. Guess I'll just steal this. And then the opponent's just gonna end up flooding pretty badly here. Yep, welcome to Strixhaven, guys. Just draft blue and you just win, essentially. Opponent also doesn't seem to have a bad Silver Quill deck. It's also quite decent as well. But yeah, if you're just drawing lands and the opponent is just outvaluing you, then it's bad. And you should just force blue in this set. Alright, Reckless Amplimancer is a druid with Mentor's Guidance, don't hate it, and then Harmonize can just draw me a bunch of cards. Yeah, we'll leave the Amplimancer since it just goes well with Guidance. And can enable me, and can eventually hit my lands for Harmonize and Tempted. Ooh, although Biomathematician can be even better, so let's just play Bio, and then we can even scry 3 times and draw 3 cards. With Mentor's Guidance. You could also have a Lash here to answer my 2/2, but I still think I'd take the risk here. Yep. Putrefy on the 2/2, that doesn't seem that great. I mean, now that he kills it, I think I'm fine just casting Harmonize. And yep, that's a lot of value. Four-mana draw 3 is incredible. Dragonscar Lead, that's a card I don't mind stealing. And I think I steal it now. Yeah, before he tries to do some sort of weird ambush against me. And this also counts as a Druid for Mentor's Guidance, so even better. He can sack this with a Village Rites or kill it, but then he loses out on a creature as well. But yeah, if I had an instant to keep up in order to pump the Dragonscar Lead, so happy that I first picked this rare, just so strong. Pledge Mage, okay, so we just need a bounce spell. Let's play Mentor's Guidance first. And we're just getting all the value, so probably don't need to land. Ooh, Golden Ratio, wow, that's even more insane, and we're just getting these insane scries. Yeah, I think we just play Golden Ratio here and say screw it. Just draw 3 cards. And I'm fine bombing, discarding a land, end of turn. Don't think I'm attacking since a 5/5. I mean, I could trade here actually, but no, it can get even larger. So let's just bottom in the island. Yep. And we can also just pop quiz and draw a million too. Eventually we can just pump this. And we still have our bounce spells in the deck, so keep that in mind. So yeah, looking at this deck, it looks like it's more about value instead of straight up removal. Even though removal is still high up on my list, like just cards that can do more than one thing and can get you 2 for 1 usually are just better. And I think I'm going to pop quiz here instead of the Dragon's Guard Elite, so doesn't really matter what I tap. I have a decent amount of blue and green, and I've cast my Tempted already, so just pop quiz here. Probably has a trick here. I think probably like some sort of Death Touch trick I need to be aware of. So we'll grab a Fractal Summoning, play blue, and then I'm happy just playing. I can also just cast Kelpie Guide as removal for next turn against this. So maybe that's just better. And we'll stay back with the Dragon's Guard League because he could have the Death Touch trick. So we'll just say go. Because it's kind of strange he's keeping up all his mana and just saying go here. So I should be careful. Ooh, that's a good powerful card. Don't mind bouncing that one back as well. Might actually prefer to tap the Pledge Mage down because I think I'll take it here. No reason for me to block. And I can always play a Needlethorn Drake to hold this off eventually. Wow, that's a powerful card, so I could just tap this down and attack with all. I think I'll try that. And then maybe just keep the 1/1 back as a chump blocker, and then if I activate this, he's dead, so he should be careful. I mean, he probably has like Mortality Spear here. So do I pump? Don't think I do. Can cast a Bookworm. Yeah, just cast a random Bookworm, and he probably won't be able to attack past that anyways. And if this dies, I can always put it on top, so... I mean, I'm fine even just taking the hit, honestly, since this is also another win condition for me next turn. And it's not like, again, the opponent drafted incorrectly. It's just that blue is broken in this set, so... Honor Troll, okay. So he probably has some sort of weird life gain spell. I think he has some sort of death touch trick, I have to imagine. I mean, I'm fine chumping this, honestly. Like, this can probably be a 2-2 with the fractal tokens, but I mean, I can always just tap the Honor Troll, use the Bury on the 4-4, and that's pretty much game over. I think this is okay. I think he has a death touch trick. I really think he does have it. So I'm fine main phasing this, bouncing Lizette. Sure. Just for the extra life gain, and in response, I think I'll just tap it. And yeah, he's just dead here. I don't think 10 life is enough to do it here. Yep. And he also had a really solid deck, so... Just like the previous opponent where we beat, which was Silver Quill, just blue is just broken, so... Draft blue... I mean, yeah, I guess you can always like just draft Silver Quill aggro and hopefully get lucky. Because that can also be pretty powerful if you get the pieces together, but again, if you just want to stay consistent, just draft this broken crap, and you basically are guaranteed to have an above average win rate. Okay, I mean, we just need green mana. There's a divide by 0, which can maybe find me something I think is worth trying out here. I can use this to find environmental sciences and hit my green if I need to, or play pop quiz on turn 3. So green mana would be awesome, but it's still fine if we don't get it. Probably some sort of Sultai-ish deck, since green is usually the color you want to splash with, or Grixis. Who knows? Ooh, there it is. Right. Take 2 for now. Guess we'll be taking 4 in the meantime. We can keep a pop quiz and divide by 0. Ooh, that's a scary card. Okay. So we might just have to bounce the Quandrix Pledge Mage if he grows it out of hand. But if not, I'll just take 4. Maybe pop quiz into something. I think I just take 4 here. I can divide by 0 to put him off tempo here. Because, I mean, this is definitely a difficult creature to deal with since it has ward, so I might actually just play divide by 0, so because it's going to be harder to bounce this in the future. But I could actually pop quiz into maybe a land into Needle Thorn Drake, I mean, if I divide by 0 now, what happens? I can then play my Needlethorn Drake to block the 2/2. So maybe it's actually worth playing divide by 0 here. And then I can find my green source eventually with the environmental sciences, which somehow the game doesn't want to give me. Thank God, environmental sciences saved our butts, so definitely make sure you pick them up. And then hopefully this doesn't die, so I can trade for the 2/2, or at least disincentivize it from attacking. Frost Trickster, okay. At least this isn't growing. And we have a decent blocker. We have this to trade off for a flyer. Maybe we can even leverage the arcane subtraction eventually. Cram session, so this is going to grow. So I do need to eventually maybe bury this in a book. Okay, he's just going to grow his Quandrix Pledge Mage out of hand here. Okay, he might just grow his Campus Guide instead. That's reasonable. And then, but I can still block at least, so... I mean, I can still block the 4/4 if he attacks, okay. Alright, so I can play land. I can keep up Arcane and also bury in books, which I don't mind. I can also just Golden Ratio, but I think I want to keep up both burying books in case something happens here, so we'll see go. And just play it safe for now. Hoping he actually main phases everything here. Here comes a trick. Intro's okay, but we'll just take another fractal summoning. And then we'll let this happen. Yep. And I can always trade with a flyer and then bounce the Pledge Mage eventually, so seems fine. And then an intro seems okay. This can become a 4/4, which is a problematic. So what do I want to do here? I can make a giant fractal summoning token, but I'm kind of afraid of removal here. Let's see, I can always Mentor's Guidance, but that doesn't do anything. Maybe it's fine still keeping up double Variant Books, although none of these spells are at instant speed. So let's say he has a Putrefy and he kills my fractal summoning, I'll be taking a ton of damage. So I might want to be careful here instead and just say go maybe. Yeah, I guess I'll say go. It's not wrong keeping up double Burying Books because that can be quite scary. And I'm fine trading the Drake for the 3/1. Since I don't really have any great ways to deal with flying, so... I might even bounce this just to get the discount. I think I will. Because if he allows damage to happen, he can finish it off with something. And I don't want that to happen. So he could have like a Lash of Malice to blow me out. But he definitely has something here. And this trade is decent, so... Dragon Scar Elite, okay, so now we can start growing it, so this seems great. We'll cast Dragon Scar Elite. And then what do I do here? I guess Mentor's Guidance is great with it. And then you can Magecraft twice. Harmonize, wow, just give me all the value, please. I actually don't mind hitting a land since I've been missing my land drops. And then I can also just play land and play golden ratio, draw 2. And I can still, the 3/5 still blocks these creatures, so definitely an overperformer. Okay. But I draw a card anyways, and we'll say go. Eventually I'll just draw this again, and then I can play it along with Fractal Summoning or Harmonize. Okay. That's fine. I guess he might chain together the Pledge Mage with the intro. So probably just want to get my ramp out there and draw a bunch of cards with the Dragon's Guard Elite. I can also just play the Cultivator and keep up the Burying Books. Maybe that's better in case he tries something here. We just want all the lands, I think, and then we can eventually just Harmonize. I mean, use Burying Books if he wants to be aggressive here, and go from there. I guess blue is so good the opponent decided to splash it as well, so... Probably not going to attack the opponent. Probably the opponent is not looking forward to attacking. I can always block this with the Wormhole Serpent and see what happens, so... I mean, he does get value if he tries anything here, but... I mean, something like this isn't a bad block. It is a trade, but it guarantees that I'm safe. So sure. Maybe the trade here is okay. Because I probably think he has a Lash of Malice. I mean, otherwise I think he would have used it. Not sure. I mean, he would use Lash of Malice on Dragon's Guard Elite if he had it, I have to imagine, so... We'll just see. Yep, he has a Flunk. That makes sense, okay. Could cast Fractal Summoning first, but it's going to get large anyways with the amount of lands that we have, so I think we'll say go. And then we can always block the Pledge Mage. If he has something, we'll just bounce it back and reset his counters. That's a good one. Hopefully he doesn't have a removal spell. Sure. I mean, I don't really need to make that big of a Fractal Summoning token, so 6, 7, 8, 9, so just a 7/7 seems okay. I mean, having the 4/4 out there is insurance, at least. And hopefully he just doesn't have removal. Professor's fine. Kelpie Guide is not bad. Yeah, I think I'm attacking with a 7/7. If he blocks, I'm going to use Burying Books. Need to start getting aggressive here. The Chump is also fine. He could have that dumb Death Touch trick, but luckily he doesn't. So. I could have also given this unblockable. I'm such an idiot. I should have just done that instead. Yeah, why didn't I make this unblockable? That was a complete waste of time. Ooh, tempted? Okay, I can just tempt it and steal Archmage Emeritus. Although I'm about to deck myself, so I should be careful, so maybe it's better to just steal Maybe I just do steal. Yeah, I guess I can steal the Pledge Mage. He can sack in response or something, I don't know. Yeah, let's just make this unblockable. And then, guess I can also make another creature unblockable. Sure, I'll just make all the unblockables. And I can also tap something down on his pre-combat step. 4, 5, 6, 7, so he can pump this into a 4/4. And I guess I can also untap the 7/7, so I don't really need to worry too much, but I can always use this offensively to tap the 4/3 if he attacks. I can force him to pump the Reckless Amplimancer, and maybe trade. Does he have the Harness Infinity here? Yeah, I guess he doesn't. Okay, there you guys have it. Just force blue and draft your busted Quandrix decks or Prismari and get to 7. Yeah, not bad. Nice 7 wins, and yeah, and the deck isn't like busted by any means. It definitely had its fair share of bombs and uncommons, and you know, there's definitely some things lacking in this deck, like removal, for instance. I mean, I guess we have double Burying Books as interaction, which definitely a huge overperformer. Definitely one of the best blue commons in the set. I think I would list it like Frost Trickster into like maybe Burying Books as number 2. I mean, Pop Quiz is also very excellent common as well. Just very impressed by the by blue in this set. And then card draw in green is pretty insane too to harmonize. I guess this is yeah, it's not like it had any bombs or anything. It was just a fine deck with a fair amount of removal. I mean, a fair amount of interaction, a fair amount of card draw, and some nice win conditions like Wormhole Serpent, Bookworm, the Dragon's Guard Elite, and Frost Trickster, maybe double Reckless Amplimancer, and maybe the Fractal Summoning Token. So it's not like it was anything like super impressive, really. I just stuck with 2 colors, didn't even attempt to splash anything, and yeah, still managed to get to 7 wins. So yeah, I think blue is the best color, and I think Temur is kind of where you want to be in the set. So it might be even reasonable taking, like, again, Burying Books over a pack 1, pick 1 Eliminates, believe it or not, given... I think this set is more about the value. You want cards that can do more than one thing for you. Like, for example, the Bookworm can replace itself and draw a card. This can put a land on the battlefield. This can draw a lot of cards. This can draw a bunch of cards. This can learn. This can help you ramp. This can also just draw you a bunch of cards. And yeah, just cards that replace themselves. Cards that help you get nice 2-for-1s, like Divide by 0, Arcane Subtraction really goes up in value. I honestly, I don't think... Like, I think the only archetype that actually benefits very well from the excessive amount of black removal is probably just Silver Quill, because at least you have like 2 drops that can really dish out a ton of damage if they go uncontested in the early game, and if you have removal to back them up, it's great. But Witterbloom, I think, you know, it's just not that great with all the removals, since there's something, they're making pest tokens, and pest tokens don't really attack and block very well. And there's just not too many amazing threats in Witterbloom, so that can definitely explain the philosophy of why you shouldn't take the black removal spells as highly as you would in sets like unlike in sets like in this set. Whereas black removal is amazing in sets like Core Set 2020, War of the Spark, and also just fantastic in guilds in Ravnica Allegiance. For example, but this is definitely not a set where you want to prioritize too much black removal and you just want to leverage more card advantage and 2-for-1s instead. So yeah, there you have it. Not bad Quandrix deck. Let's claim our prize, crack some packs. And let's see, pack 1, pick 1, Strixhaven. Let's pretend we're drafting here. divide by 0. I think I would take over Draconic Intervention. Draconic Intervention is pretty strong, no doubt, but it's really going to be only feasible in a controlling Prismari deck. And you do need to get a large spell in the graveyard to really leverage this. So in Prismari, there's some 7-mana spells that you can cycle and create treasures, and then once they end up in the graveyard, you can just exile them, and then this can just wipe the board. But it definitely requires a bit of build around. It's definitely a lot more committal, and it can definitely win you a game, but it's not guaranteed to be amazing in every single game, because in some games, let's just say you aren't able to get a large spell into the graveyard, and you aren't able to sweep the board. But I mean, this is still pretty strong with, even a 3-mana spell in the graveyard that you can exile, and it can just get you back from behind the board. So maybe Draconic Intervention is a good first pick, but Divide by 0 will be a much more safer first pick and keeps you in blue, the best color in the set, and just a powerful 2-for-1. You can also leverage this as a counter spell for Tempo, like I did in a couple of other games, and it's quite good. But I don't know, it's pretty interesting. Divide by 0 is also quite splashable as well. So it's kind of hard knowing what to take. Maybe Draconic Intervention just has the highest upside. And you can still play this in a very controlling Prismari deck. Overall, Lorehold is not a very controlling archetype from what I've seen. I think the best Lorehold deck is mostly just aggro, so Draconic Intervention is a bit of a nombo with it. This could have a higher upside, but Divide by 0 is probably just more consistent and playable in any blue deck. So probably take Divide by 0 over Draconic Intervention, since it's just a good card by itself and doesn't require too much build around. Ooh, Elemental Expressionist is a bomb. Sure, it's only gonna really work if the creature leaves the battlefield, but that means this card is really powerful if you're an aggressive Prismari deck, or even in any Prismari deck, to be honest, since now basically any creature that's small can just attack. And then if you're able to attack with it and the opponent gets a good value block with it, you can just cast the spell at instant speed, target your creature, and then if it dies, it just becomes a 4/4 blue and elemental creature token. You can also use this as a defensive card, I guess, so it's also pretty good in a controlling Prismari deck, since you can always chump block with a creature, cast an instant spell, target that creature, and then make it into a 4/4. And keep in mind, you can also target the Elemental Expressionist itself. If it's about to die, you can also just cast an instant, target it, and then you still get a nice 2-for-1 by replacing it with a 4/4 red elemental creature token. So this is definitely a first pickable card and definitely a powerful bomb. Shock is also pretty good as solid efficient removal. Eureka Moment is also fantastic. Probably still take Shock over Eureka Moment, but Elemental Expressionist is great. Okay, Mila is quite good. You can play this in aggressive Silverhold. In a nice aggressive white deck, since it's a must-kill. Otherwise, if your opponent is running a bunch of abilities and removal spells, and they target other creatures, you just get a card advantage out of it, and that's pretty annoying. And yeah, against Frost Tricksters, if the opponent is just playing a bunch of creatures with activated abilities, then yeah, you're just going to draw a bunch of cards, and this is a card that must be killed. Not the easiest to cast because it's double white, and you need to play it in a dedicated white aggressive deck, but still very good. Luca is also pretty solid. I don't think it's amazing, but it's just a nice value planeswalker. It just provides you with card advantage in the late game. A nice way to filter with the plus ability, and the -2 ability can come up at times, especially if you need to reanimate a creature in the graveyard, and that can come up with Lorehold. It's not going to be as best in Prismari, since reanimating, you don't really have too many amazing creatures you would like to reanimate and give haste for a single turn, but it's still card advantage on turn 6, so it's not bad. I wouldn't evaluate Luca as a powerful bomb that I'm excited to play, but Mila is definitely very strong. But I guess if you manage to get to -7 with Luca, he can be quite strong, even in Prismari, because Prismari can just summon a bunch of tokens. So yeah, I would probably first pick Mila and Luca, and between D-Spark and Quandrix Cultivator, I did state I would lean towards blue a lot more, but D-Spark is just really powerful. Although D-Spark is quite conditional, so maybe I would still take Quandrix Cultivator over D-Spark. I don't know. I just like the efficiency of D-Spark, just 2 mana, so maybe still take the cheaper spell over Quandrix Cultivator, and maybe force this in some sort of Silver Quill deck. Spirit Summoning also pretty solid, but not amazing by any means compared to the Fractal Summoning and the Elemental Summoning. So that's another reason why Temur is amazing, because the Fractal and the Elemental Summoning are just larger. The funny thing is I haven't seen a lot of people build around this. I mean, in theory, a 2-mana 2/2 Vigilance is quite good, and if it can gain Flying, First Strike, Double Strike, Death Touch, Indestructible, Lifelink, Menace, and Trample, and share those, it's also quite fantastic. So, I mean, I can actually see this being quite strong in, like, a Silver Quill deck, since Silver Quill has Flying. It can also gain Lifelink with cards like Leech Fanatic, and if you have a first striker like Lorehold Pledge Mage, it can also gain it. So, I mean, I actually don't mind this 2-drop, and I wouldn't mind first picking this. I mean, it definitely looks better than everything else in this pack, but another great common in this pack is also Pop Quiz, which is an overperformer. Needlethorn Drake, nice defensive 2-drop for the Quandrix decks. Witterbloom Command, probably the worst of the command cards, since, I mean, the first ability, you don't really want to get a land. Second ability is very conditional, and it can't even target creatures. Third ability, also very conditional, can only deal with 1 toughness. And the fourth ability just doesn't even gain you value, so Witterbloom Command is pretty atrocious. So probably Thunderous Orator, and if not, Pop Quiz. Probably take Heated Debate over Putrefy, and Explosive Welcome, just very flexible, can't be countered, 4 damage, can usually deal with most threats in the set. Daemogoth Titan I wouldn't first pick. It could even be worse than a Daemogoth Woe Eater. Just the fact is you just need a ton of pest tokens to really enable this, and if you don't have a bunch of pest tokens or things you're willing to stack, it's just quite bad, honestly. And it also takes up a 4-drop slot, which, you know, in Witterbloom, there's a lot of good 4-drops, like the Woe Eater, the Professor, and also, I guess, the Daemogoth Titan. So basically, in Witterbloom, your 4-drops are going to be stacked, and then you might even consider not taking this, because you're just going to have the 4-drop department is going to be filled anyways, and this requires a hefty build around. Probably Heated Debate, and then I would take Putrefy into Explosive Welcome. But yeah, not liking black in this set. In theory, again, all the black removal should be fantastic, but it's not. Kazmina is a complete powerful bomb. I mean, even though like, it's not like amazing in standard, just if this goes unanswered, it can just make a bunch of fractal creature tokens, and they can just create a bunch of tokens all day to chump block. And yeah, if it just goes unanswered, you just essentially make giant fractal tokens all day and just win the game. It's not by any means like unbeatable, but if you can untap with this, I mean, if this can survive 2 turns already, you can already make a 4/4 token. If it survives for 1 turn, you can still make a 3/3 token, and then the extra scry just gives you amazing value. But yeah, definitely a first pickable card. And Wormhole Serpent is also an overperformer. I think it's going to be at its best in Quandrix, where you have large green creatures that you don't mind giving unblockable. But I can still imagine this being pretty decent in Prismari as well, since you have elemental summoning tokens you can make unblockable. But definitely Kazmina here. Flunk is just too good here. Even though, again, I want to lean towards Temur, I think Flunk is just too efficient. Just a nice 2-mana removal spell. And yeah, if this wasn't his pack, I would probably take Cultivator over Inkling Summoning, believe it or not. Otherwise, yeah, commit to Silver Quill, take Inkling Summoning. Still fine in Lorehold, but I find Lorehold pretty bad. Same with Witterbloom. I think I would rate Prismari and Quandrix both the top tier colleges, and then Silver Quill somewhere in the middle. And then I think I would, between Witterbloom and Lorehold, they're both kind of close to being bad. But I guess with all the good black removal, I would maybe put Witterbloom higher than Lorehold. But yeah, they're both pretty bad. Expanded Nami is also a fantastic lesson. That's an overperformer in this set. Definitely best in Silver Quill, but also just great overall in general in any single college So I might even take Expand Anatomy over Inkling Summoning just to keep myself the most open. But yeah, don't sleep on Expand Anatomy. This card has been really great in the set. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully I draft another Strixhaven and explore, maybe draft a Lorehold deck and hopefully get to 7. But overall, I definitely draft blue. Draft blue, guys. Draft blue. Don't sleep on blue. It's the best color. And anyways, take care, and I hope you guys enjoy these videos. So have a good one. Bye.